All right, so let's start. I'm gonna improvise this one a bit more. Hello everyone, happy Halloween o feliz castañada si eres español y en tu parte de España se celebra. No sé si es un festivo completamente nacional, pero en mi parte, en mi zona se celebra. Back to English. Today we're going to be talking about nutrition and exercise. As you can see by my outfit, pretty exercising one. Oh yes, 1, 2, 1, 2. So why is important to do nutrition and exercise? Well, it has a lot of benefits, right? First, you're stronger. Which, why do you need strength? I mean, strength is useful. For example, if I'm strong enough, I can pick this up. But if I was not strong enough, I couldn't pick it up. And I was like, oh shit, I want that, but I cannot do it. Strength increases the range of things you can do. But too much can make your muscles stiff. And then you're like, oh my god, my hamstring is too tight. I cannot do it, because you are like heavy lifting and stuff like this. So you don't only need strength, you need also flexibility. How can I show you flexibility because the frame is pretty small? I can do this. You also need some flexibility to be able to reach places. You also need strength in ample ranges of motion to avoid injuries from unexpected moves. Like if I fall, oh no, wait. Yeah, maybe this is better. So if I feel like, oh no, but then because I'm strong, and I'm not only strong in this specific position, but also when I'm like this, stretch, I can hold my fall and I don't get injured. That's also useful. Strength, flexibility. You see, I'm getting tired. You also need resistance. You also need to be able to, you also need to move, and don't get tired. Or if you get tired, you recover quickly. That's an important thing. Because if you are running, you can run for longer. If you are walking, you can walk for longer. If you are, I don't know, trapped somewhere, maybe you can climb and escape. Like, it's pretty obvious, right? Why physical strength, flexibility, and endurance are, well, positive things if you combine them. So that's why you need to train. Or, I mean, you don't need to. As we saw in previous classes, humans live to survive and to be happy, okay? And if you don't need exercise to be happy, well, then you don't really need to. But it's pretty difficult because exercise makes you live longer, it increases the amount of things you can do, and if you are very bored, then you can do more stuff to be entertained, to have fun. If you're very fat, you cannot climb a mountain. But if you were like not that fat, maybe you could go that afternoon to climb the mountain and you would have a better day. The more healthy you are, you live for longer, so you can experience happiness for long periods of time. So health is also important for that. If you want to feel more and more happiness, you can be healthy. Exercise also relieves stress. Okay, it's good for stressing, not calming down, not stressing. It has lots of benefits, right? You can talk to ChatGPT about it. He might know. So, but of course, like a lot of people know it, right? Look, I have this. This is nice. A lot of people know about it, but not everyone knows how to achieve this. How can you grow your biceps? How can you improve your resistance? How can you improve your flexibility? And that's what I'm going to explain now in a way that you don't get injured. So you need health, and well, it's not only about physical things, but also what you eat. As you might know, when you eat, you get energy, and when you get energy, you can move the body because the tummy does some and everything explodes, and there's energy, and you can contract your muscle, and you can also think. And that's it. You need to eat properly too, because well, to move, to exist, we need energy. And how we get energy? Eating food. It's very easy. So far, it's very easy, super simple. Let's trigger the capybara. Super simple. So, nutrition and exercise. How to take care of your nutrition. How to take care of your exercise. Well, this video is for normal people. If you want to be an athlete, you will have to get a professional. If you have some medical condition, you don't have to listen to me. You have to go to your doctor. So first, go to your fucking doctor, okay, and say, hey, doctor, hello, oh, this is very unstable today. Hey, doc, do I have any weird medical condition which doesn't allow me to follow the normal path? Okay, that's the first thing you have to do. And then you come back to this video to see what is the average thing, the normal thing that works. So, disclaimer set. Here's here are the principles for maintaining your health and having a good nutrition, or at least the average things that usually works. I've mentioned it in previous videos. When the human body works in the following way: if you use it, you keep it. If you don't use it, you remove it. For scientists, explain this with survival, right? If you are always surviving, but you don't use this finger when you survive, this is consuming a lot of energy that could be going to maybe this finger that you actually use for, I don't know, climbing. So eventually this finger will disappear. That's kind of how it works. If you don't use your biceps frequently enough and with the enough impact, with enough, what's the word, frequency and intensity, then it will just slowly like decrease, because muscle actually takes a lot of energy to just keep it up. Muscle is very energy demanding, I think. I'm not wrong. If I'm wrong, you can look at ChatGPT. This is pretty basic knowledge, so you can safely talk to AI safely, and they will tell you the proper thing. But that's the thing, muscle is hard to keep up. You need to take the energy, also more stuff. It's not only about energy, it's about what you put in. If your muscles are made of protein and you do not eat protein, you don't get the muscles. It's like if a house is built with bricks and you don't have bricks, you don't build a house. Okay, kind of. It's not perfect metaphor, but that's how it works. If your car is broken and you need one piece to fix it, like some part of the engine, and you don't have the part of the engine, your car is not going to repair. Same happens with the muscle. If muscles are protein and you don't put protein inside your body, they are not going to grow. That's one thing. So what was I saying? The principles. If you don't use it, you lose it. That's one of the principles. So what do we do if we want to keep it? Using it. And what do we do if we want to increase it? You use it even more. Because the more you use it, the more your body will try to keep it or even increase the capabilities. This happens in the brain with learning. This happens in the muscle. So it's like a kind of biological principle of humans. Let's think it like this way for now. Of course, do your own research. But this is what I know. This is what I've been doing. This is what has been working very well, and what a lot of experts are saying. And that's the thing. Always question me. Always. So if you don't use it, you lose it. So you need to use it if you want to increase your muscle. And we saw that it's frequency and intensity. So you need to tell your body, hey, this part of the body is important, keep it. So you need to train to use it, to contract it with a certain frequency. What is a nice frequency, right, for beginners? For beginners, or for anyone actually, if you train 1 to 3 days a week, okay, that's good. That's good. And 30 minutes very intensely, or maybe 1 hour less intense. Okay, you already have enough frequency and intensity to tell your body, hey, we need this. Of course, not only the biceps, you also have to the biceps, the triceps, the shoulders, the legs, the ass, the back, like all the muscles. You have to work all the muscles. There are different exercises to use the muscles. You can look them up on the internet. There's lots of them. Classic biceps exercise. Then you can do triceps. You can also train outside. You don't really need to go to the gym. You can train in a calisthenics park. You can train with your body weight. You can do push-ups for your chest, your shoulders, your triceps, but mainly for the chest. If you cannot do a normal push-up, with parallel to the ground, you do it towards the leaning to the wall. If you already can do very well the ones parallel, then you lean, but you lean with your feet up. Like I would put my feet here, like I don't have space, and then you. And if you want to train your shoulders and you're very strong, you can do push-ups doing the handstand. That's crazy. But for beginners, you should exercise 1 to 3 days a week, from 1 to 3. Okay, less than 1, no, please. But preferably 3. If you can't, well, nothing is better. Sorry, something is better than nothing. Now, 30 minutes intensity, 1 hour less intensity. Strength training. What is intensity in strength training? Well, just lift heavier. This is like what, 200 grams? Then in the next week, I lift 220 grams. 20 grams from the lid. That's how it works. You just need to tell your body, hey, we need more, we need more. Like with frequency, you tell the body, I need it. Increasing the intensity, you tell, hey, I need more, I need more. You see, every 2-3 days, we need this part. And your body's like, yeah, true. And it's getting stronger and stronger to do. So I will need more and more muscle. So your body will build it if you eat protein and enough energy to repair the muscle. Because every time you use the muscle, it kind of breaks. And then you go to sleep. It's very important to rest properly and sleep, and then your muscle repairs. And your body's like, shit, you're broken, little biceps. And he's like, okay, here you got some protein and some energy, and then it repairs, and it's like, oh, stronger. That's how it works. So you need to increase the intensity and the frequency. It's like this. You cannot increase it very much because then you don't rest. And if you don't rest, it doesn't repair. And if it doesn't repair, when you go train again, you're just destroying the muscle again. So you need to build it, let it repair, get bigger, then you break it again, then it gets bigger and bigger if you feed it properly. That's the nutrition part. The nutrition part, which I'm going to talk now. What intensity should you choose? The smallest possible for beginners. Because if you, like, this is exerting a force, and if something very big with a lot of force falls into you, you get injured. Well, this is the same. If you try to lift too much, it's going to be like, it breaks. Like if I could break it. Maybe I cannot, but I'm not going to try. If you put too much force into something, it breaks. Same goes with your muscles. So start small and slowly increase it up as you feel more comfortable. If you have to start with 200 milligrams, you start with 200 milligrams. If you have to start with 2 kilograms, you start with 2 kilograms. If you have to start with 15 kilograms, you start with 15 kilograms, but if you already start with 15 kilograms, I think you already know this. But that's the principle. Frequency and intensity. Am I saying that? Intensity. No, intensity. Yeah, it's like that. Intensity. Yeah, intensity. Yeah, it's like that. So that's what you have to do if you're a beginner. Actually, what the frequency depends on is on how well you rest. This is like the general rule. But how it actually works is you have to leave your muscle, your biceps, enough time to rest. When it's completely rested, you can go and train again. Okay? But like as a reference, these are like reference metrics. 3 days a week. Like you train Monday, you rest on Tuesday. Oh, this is in Spanish. On Tuesday, you train on Wednesday, you rest on Thursday, you train on Friday and Saturday and Sunday. You don't do shit. That's one option. And you should train, if you want your biceps to grow, you train your biceps. If you want your butt to grow, you train your butt. If you want whatever to grow, you train that. Recommendation, train everything in a balanced way. because then you have more variety, you are more optimal, like, and you have more freedom to do different activities. So that's basically it. Frequency and intensity for strength. Now let's go to flexibility, which is basically the same. For example, let's go with the classic stretch. I don't know if you can see with the classic stretch of this. Well, you start with whatever you can. Okay, for example, this for stretching the hamstrings is very important. You keep straight, you put your butt backwards, feel the stretch here. Okay, straight back, that's better. You force this here better. You can also force it to one leg if you bend the knee, and if you bend the other knee, you force it to this hamstring. Depends, but you just do it like this. How do you increase the intensity? You go lower, and you will feel it's more stretched. Like this and like this, and one day you touch the ground, okay, with the palm and everything. Same with strength. That's a force. That's tension. You can get injured. So slowly. How long? Usually, some studies. There's one guy. I don't know how he's called. The flexi guy. Search, YouTube. Stay flexi guy. This guy knows a lot, and he's very flexible, very reliable guy. At least I follow him. Do your own research as always, but good source for flexibility training. What he says, according to some studies, is that the minimum amount of things of time during a whole week is 5 minutes to improve your flexibility. Of course, now we're talking about the flexibility of the hamstrings, but if you want to improve the flexibility of the triceps, you have to do like this. For example, you want to improve the flexibility of your wrist, you have to do like this. Whatever. 5 minutes at least every week. That means that you can do. This is according to some science studies. Of course, if you are in higher levels of intensity, you will have to do more than this. But if you are a beginner with 5 minutes a week, it's enough. Imagine you do 30 seconds here, 30 seconds here, 30 seconds here. That's 1 minute and a half. We still have more 4 minutes. So let's put 1 minute here, 1 minute here, 1 minute here. That's plus 3, 3.5. Okay, we still have like 1.5. So let's put more 30 seconds here, 30 seconds here, 30 seconds here. That's plus 1.5. This is 5 minutes. So 3, 4, 2 minutes and a half in one training session, 2 minutes and a half, 2 minutes and a half in each training section for each muscle, and you will improve your flexibility. If you are in a very base level, if you're very flexible already, maybe you have to actually do longer periods, but just do your own research. This is the principle: frequency and intensity. Okay, and be very careful with the intensity you do and with the frequency, because if you don't rest, you don't repair, and if you don't repair, you stay pretty weak or less weak than if you repaired. So sleep very well. We could get into more advices on how to sleep, but first let me talk about the strength. How many times do I have to do like this, right? Usually I would say until you cannot do it anymore. But as a reference, pick a weight that you can do 5 repetitions or 8 repetitions for 3 times. Or if you're doing body weight, maybe 3 repetitions 5 times. Doesn't really matter. What matters is that you feel tired and you feel like I can only do like 1 or 2 more. And that's the weight you have to pick. If it hurts, don't pick that weight. Pick one lower. Prioritize. If it hurts or if it doesn't, don't get injured. That's the first thing you have to prioritize. And then you prioritize that at the end of the session, you should feel tired. Like you could only do like 1 or 2 more exercises at most. Same with flexibility, right? Now let's talk about sleep. Not yet. Let's talk about endurance, resistance. Well, pretty easy, right? You just start walking and that's how you train. The more you do it and the long intensity in this case is how fast you move or for how long you move. Those 2 factors can increase the intensity. The longer you move, the more intensity. The faster you move, the more intensity. So you can go running. If you are very fat, very obese, maybe you shouldn't run because I think that there's some that can injure your knee. I'm not sure. Do your research, but maybe you should start walking. And when you lose some weight, you actually start jogging or running. Just go running, do your thing. Don't do it very intensely. Start slow. Make sure you don't get injured the first time. And the second time you train, if you feel like you can go farther without injury, you try a bit farther. Okay, go slow. Okay, because if you injure, it takes months sometimes to recover. So it makes no sense to get injured here and be 5 months, 3 months without training. Now you were gonna end up, let's say, with a power of level 3. But if you don't get injured and you consistently train during those 3 months, you will end up with a power likely way higher than level 3. Okay, it's not worth it to get injured. Avoid it every time you can. Like, really. I've learned this the bad way. Getting injured. I'm actually injured right now here because I can do the split. And I don't know, I was doing the split and I tried to go a bit farther and it didn't hurt. I just stand up as always. And the next day it was hurting. I don't know what I did wrong, to be honest. But you know, the split is pretty intense stretch. So yeah, don't start that intense, okay? If you can only bend this much, you only bend this much. Slowly but surely, you would farther and farther. The same with the weights. You can only run for 10 minutes, you only run for 10 minutes or 8. And slowly but surely, you will do it. Now, do I have to do every kind of training every day, every of these 3 days? You decide. You decide, man. Like, there is a bit optimization of this stuff, but if you're a beginner, doesn't really matter as long as you move and you keep improving slowly, whether it's your resistance, your flexibility, your strength. Just do it, whatever you feel like. If you want to do strength and flexibility, do it. If you want to do only strength, do it. If you're doing nothing, it's better than nothing. If you want to do resistance and flexibility, go and do that. Like, just start exercising. Okay, if you want to increase your dynamism, your ability of options to satisfy your happiness. For example, then you will discover you can follow different exercise YouTubers and nutrition YouTubers that are pretty reliable, and I've been following for years. I'm gonna say the names right now. I hope I don't forget anyone. So the Stay Flexi guy, also one which is called Jeremy Either, maybe Either, EITHER. El Coach Nutricional, this is a Spanish one. El Coach Roberto Vidal is his name, I think. El Coach Nutricional, whatever. It's difficult to write here. What else do I follow? Strength Side, that's a very interesting channel. Jeremy Either is more about fitness, nutrition, more focused on the gym. Okay, Strength Side, it's more about mobility, natural strength, using your body with your own strength. He also focuses a bit on weightlifting, but his main focus is to train in a minimalist way without much equipment and do it pretty complete. And but it's better. It's cheaper. It's cheaper. Strength Side, or Coach Nutricional, Jeremy Ida, Flexi Guy. Which one? Am I missing anyone? I hope I am not. Yeah, but these people look very honest and very, very nice. At least from my experience, I hired this guy actually. I hired this guy years ago, and he did a really good job. He not only gives you the plan, but also teaches you how to understand it. It's nice. Of course, it's in Spanish, so if you're English watching this, I'm sorry for you. But Jeremy Either is also very good. Strength Side. Strength Side? It's called Strength Side. Let me check that. I'm going to check the YouTube in my computer. Oh, let's see. Let's see. Yeah, I can check it out here. How can I see subscriptions? Where are my subscriptions? This one. Uh, Jeremy Ethier, Ethyer. That's the guy. Strength side, yeah, I was not wrong. Oh, movement by David. That's the flexi guy. Oh, here's a very strong black man, Nisma Inyan. I think I've seen like one or two videos of him. There's one guy called Roy Gold that I also follow. But yeah, these people, like, I don't really know them. I just watch videos and it were like interesting. Coach Nutricional, yeah, these are all the ones I follow and which I consider reliable and nice. But do your own research as always. Um, so yeah, just to start exercising. What else? Oh, sleep, repair. Should I use caffeine? Should I not use caffeine? Should I use creatine? Should I use should I use some? How is the name of this? I don't even know in Spanish. I don't use it, so I don't care. But metabolic, yeah, testosterone, I think it's called. I don't know. Do your own research. Okay, just do your own research. I only use caffeine, and I don't use this. This has a lot of secondary effects. If you are thinking about using this, do a very, very deep research. Very, very deep. And first, start training, get into the habit, and then you do the research. Okay, please, because it can have very bad secondary effects. Okay, like you can get like literally boobs. You can get very like when you get old. There's lots of disadvantages for your health if you do that. So do your very, very deep research. Creatine is pretty safe. Creatine, caffeine, but caffeine can interrupt your sleep, which is what we're gonna talk about. So be careful also with the amount of caffeine because it can mess up with your rest. But yeah, first get into the habit, and then you get into the more substances part of it. Okay. Um, Sleep. Well, what can you do? Classic, right? No screen time. Maybe 1 hour before going to sleep, 2 hours before going to sleep. No screen time. No big lights in your eyes, right? No natural light. Maybe you can use red light. That's less painful. No, it's not the word. It wakes you up less, red light. But if it's possible, or a candle, or very soft, very, very soft lights before going to sleep. No heavy eating before sleep. Your dinner, if you dinner at 21, go to sleep at 00 maybe, or 23, and don't eat a lot for dinner, because then your digestion takes a lot of energy, and it will worsen the repair while you sleep. So don't eat very heavy close to the time you go to sleep. Sleep in a cold room. I think it's about 18 degrees, the recommended shit, but depends on you. The colder the better, but don't be like freezing, of course. Just common sense. It doesn't have to hurt. That's another thing. It doesn't have to hurt. If it hurts, stop. You're doing something wrong. For strength, for flexibility, for endurance, for sleeping. If it has to hurt, you're doing something wrong. So, for sex, too. So, yeah, just colder. The colder the room, the better. It's better a cold room than a hot room, but don't get too cold. So no strong digestion, no light, cold room, relax, relax, relax. Maybe some people like to meditate, whatever the hell relaxes you. I like to masturbate. That's very relaxing before sleeping. Yes, but it also arouses you, and that's not you. You want to avoid arousal also, like, or avoid or minimize. Okay, but it doesn't mean you have to do all this, right? It just means that if you do something of this, your sleep quality will increase. How much of this do you need? It will depend on you. You do your own experiment. You have your own body. Arousal is something you should avoid. Maybe you have sex at 9 and then you go to sleep at 12. Maybe. What else? Because that doesn't make you relax. It makes you more like, oh, yeah, then relax. But then the thing can be counterproductive, I think. Not super sure about this one. Talk to ChatGPT. Brian Johnson is it's like an obsessed guy with health, and you can go to his channel to get more references about sleep. he does everything he says is pretty much scientifically backed or scientifically researched. So, and he's like open source. He makes public whatever he does, and if it works or doesn't work. So, pretty reliable source. He's also selling stuff. So, I don't know, when someone starts selling something, I start distrusting a bit, but it's fine. This is what matters. Science, open source. He's open about it, and well, it's like this is a good bunch of stuff that can improve your sleep, which is important for repairing the muscle and getting more strong, more flexible, more resistant. Well, that's basically it. We talked about frequency, intensity, why it works, because your body, if you use it, you keep it. If you don't use it, you don't keep it. For muscle, for strength, you have to slowly increase the intensity. That's technically known as the principle of progressive overload. And yeah, I think I'm missing nothing. Let's check the notes. Repetition, overload, rest. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna get into nutrition now. Some advices. Yeah, I'll tell you the advices now. This is difficult. Okay, this is very difficult, energy intensive. You have to break the routine. You have to create new routines. That's very energy expensive, so it's not easy. You need a bit of goal planning. This is not something that is going to happen in 3 weeks, right? The more muscle you want to build, the more time it will take to build, because, well, you cannot rush biology. I mean, if you get some drugs, maybe you can rush biology, but that has side effects that you have to get research about. So because it takes energy and you have to do it, get tired, rest, do it, get tired, rest. It takes time, okay? Don't expect to grow super big, large biceps in 6 months. Maybe expect it in 1 year and a half of very consistent and very well designed training and with a very good nutrition, maybe 2 years. Same for flexibility. Don't expect to be super flexible in 1 month. Some people have good genetics and they can get stronger faster, flexible faster, more resistant faster, but that's not the rule. Likely you're gonna fall outside of the good genetics, very likely. So yeah, don't rush. Okay, if anyone is trying to sell you something that's gonna get you in shape in 1 month, just distrust it. Okay, maybe he has drugs or he's just trying to scam your money. Just distrust. It takes time and effort, unless you do drugs. But as you might know, drugs are not easily controllable. They can get out of control very easy and have very bad side effects. And you might die sometimes in the worst cases. So yeah, be careful and think it long term. For that, you need a bit of goal planning and stuff, but I'm gonna do a class on goal planning. So good, go check that out. And let's talk about nutrition. Nutrition, what do I have to eat? A bit of everything. A bit of everything that tastes good. Simple. You want to increase your muscle, you increase the intake of protein. How do I know if something has protein? Well, it should be in the oh fuck, this word. Oh, what is this word? The vessel, the package. It should be in the package, right? Somewhere here, like protein this much. How much protein do I have to eat if I want to increase my weight? 1.5 grams per kilogram of your body weight, kind of. That should be good enough. Of course, there's a lot of details and exceptions. You can go to Jeremy Either YouTube channel. He has a lot of videos about it. But usually 1.5. Maybe this might be too much, but I mean 2 is a lot. When you are very, very big and you want to get even bigger. For normal people, with this will be a lot, and probably enough. So you weigh yourself. I'm using kilograms. If you're using pounds, well, just tell ChatGPT to convert this to grams per pound. Okay. I'm sorry, I use the metric universal system. So you weigh 50 kilograms, so times 1.5, so 75. You need 73 grams per day. How do I know if I'm getting enough? You go to this. There's a lot of apps that tell you approximately. You can use the app. You don't need to do it manually. You can use Microsoft Excel or an open source program to do it yourself. Maybe I should put one of these, the one I use in the description. Yeah, but I don't have it done now. I have to search it. Maybe it's in the description, maybe not, but there's lots of things. You can do it yourself, right? If you're not willing to do it, well, you have to move your ass and your mind and train. So I encourage you to do it. If I remember and if I'm not too lazy to do it right now or tomorrow, it will be in the description. So you need protein for the muscle. You need what is called carbohydrates for the energy. When you're gonna train, you need you need your muscles to contract, to move, to stretch. The body uses what it's called carbohydrates, I think, for that. What the hell is that? Well, it's rice, pasta, cereals. What else? There are more. Just tell ChatGPT to tell you which ones. How much should I eat? Well, it depends. It depends on how intense you're gonna work. The more intensely you're gonna work, maybe you need more. A good rule. Just tell ChatGPT to tell you. Usually use your weight as the reference and tell, hey, how much carbohydrates do I need? Tell me carbohydrate sources. Rice, pasta, cereal. What else, man? There's gotta be more things. Avena, I don't know in English. How is that? Oats. Maybe it's called oats. I don't know. I'm not sure about this one. Just tell ChatGPT is very basic stuff, but this is the word you have to look for: carbohydrates for your weight and the amount of intensity of your workout. Okay. Protein, just all the same. Go to Jeremy either videos or EVR. I don't know his last name, and check that out and measure yourself and put the effort. Carbohydrates for the energy, protein to repair the muscle, and what else? Well, vegetables. Okay, just eat a lot of vegetables and diverse vegetables, fruit. Sugar also is energy. I don't know if it's a carbohydrate, but it also makes energy. Sugar. But be careful with a lot of sugar because, you might have heard of it. Too much sugar is not good. Sugar is good, but too much sugar is not good. How much sugar? Ask ChatGPT. Go to the videos I told you of the YouTubers. They know more than me, and they are more based on science. Okay. But usually, if just don't eat anything with added sugar or added salt, stuff. Eat natural, eat normal, and you should be fine. At least in the European Union. I don't know in America, in the United States of America. So just eat your carbohydrates. What does it have? Protein, meat, lentils, peanuts, nuts in general, eggs, tofu, all this stuff. Ask ChatGPT, he will give you a list, and vegetables to get your vitamins and all this cool stuff. Vegetables and fruit. Drink water, okay? Don't drink alcohol, don't use drugs. If you want to be healthier, do not use drugs, don't use alcohol, don't use nicotine, tobacco, don't use weed, don't use, if you want to improve your health. Okay, maybe someone needs to smoke some weed to get relaxed, and then he can do other stuff, and the overall sum is this, but this is more complex. Please go talk to your doctor if this is your case, okay? But the overall, I'm talking about the general thing, okay? It's just the lesser drugs you do, the better. The higher you can reach, right? So drink water. That's hydration. You need food. You need water. That's what living beings do. How much water? Well, I think it's recommended 2 liters per day. Man, if you're thirsty, drink. And if you forget to drink because one of these people, well, again, go to see your doctor if you're not normal. Usually people, they feel thirst and they go and they drink. That's it. If you're not broken. If you're broken, go to see your fucking doctor. Yeah, but 2 liters a day, I think it's fine for the average. I drink a lot, maybe 3.5 or 4. I drink a lot. It depends also on your size. If you're bigger, you'll need more water. If you're smaller, you'll need less water. Stuff like this. If you move a lot, you will need more water. Blah blah blah. Um, yeah, you can drink sodas and stuff like this. Yeah, sure, but they have gas, which they mess up your teeth. They have more calories, which calories are not bad. Too much calories are bad. How much calories do I need? Good question. You can have an equation. There's like a rule. Okay. You can ask the equation to ChatGPT. Okay, I don't remember now the equation. I have it in my Excel that tells you how much. The equation is like, oh, how old are you? The older you are, the less calories you burn. In tendency terms, maybe you're very active. The more activity you do, the more calories you burn. So you have to take into account your weight, your activity level, and your age and your gender. Males usually burn more calories. Again, talk to ChatGPT. Look in the YouTube channels. I told you how to know my calories. And if you want to not get fatter, not get leaner, stay normal, you have to eat what is called the maintenance calories. If you want to get stronger, build muscle, which you will also maybe build some fat, you have to eat over the maintenance calories, not too much. At most, maybe 500 kilocalories over that. And if you want to lose fat in a sustainable way, if you want to get leaner, you have to also eat at most 500 kilocalories less. Okay, this is a day. Okay, the maintenance calories are kilocalories per day. This makes you earn fat, but also earn muscle. This makes you lose fat, and if you don't eat enough protein, you might also lose muscle. And if you don't do exercise, remember, you have to make your body remember that you need it. So even if you are a bit starving, you are having a bit of, you don't consume enough calories to maintain your body will have to get rid of fat. But if there's not much fat to get rid of, he will start getting rid of muscle. But if you train, especially when you're losing weight, if you train, you're telling your body, hey, I need this part. Don't get rid of this. Maybe better if you get rid of this. So especially when you are below your maintenance calories, then you should eat a bit more protein, and you should also do exercise. Like really tell your body, hey, the muscles are important, don't lose them. What I want to lose is fat. Be careful with losing fat. It's not bad to have fat. It's not bad. Like the problem is too much fat. And too little fat is also a problem. So be careful with that. Of course, more information, go to the YouTube channels. On average, if you're a male, I think an 18 to 20% body fat percentage is good. What does that mean? That means that if you weigh 10 kilograms, 20% of that is fat, 2 kilograms. How do I know this? Again, there's like scales that actually do it, pretty advanced ones. Go to the pharmacy, maybe they have one of these scales so they can measure you, stuff like this, or just go to the pharmacy, go or buy one of these scales online and do it. If you're a woman, this is very different. Women actually have greater percentage of fat that are considered healthy. I don't know the percentages now. If you're a woman, ask ChatGPT or go to these videos. Okay, but this is the thing. How much? How much do I have to eat? This many calories. Okay, and also the volume matters. If you take healthy meals with low caloric density, well, you can feel that you're full for longer, and it's easier to just enjoy life, even if you have to lose weight. If you have to maintain weight, it shouldn't feel very hard. Getting stronger should feel a bit hard because you have to force the food in, and getting leaner should feel hard because you starve a little bit. You have to feel a bit hungry for a bit of times of the day. There's a lot of techniques to make it easier, like how is this in English? Fasting. Okay, you go to sleep and you don't eat in the next 16 hours, but because you're sleeping maybe 9, you only have to keep not eating, I don't know, 14, let's say 14, 5 more hours. There's lots of techniques. Again, if you want to know more about details, techniques, and things, go to the YouTube channels of the specialist. Okay, I'm just laying out the general knowledge. In the general case, if you're weird, again, very important, go to the doctor. Again, don't rush things. Things take time, energy, and effort. If you rush them, you'll get injured. If you get injured, it's gonna hurt, and it's not gonna be worth it long term. Now, I said about eat your vegetables, eat a lot of vegetables, diversified vegetables, diversified fruit, different sorts of protein, fish, meat, eggs, eat diversified source of carbohydrates, pasta, rice, and more stuff that I cannot think of right now. Ask ChatGPT about that. Oh, I'm hungry now. I came from training actually, and now I'm very hungry. How much? For the amount, you have to look at the calories. How much? How do I know the calories? Again, in the package, it will be written there. It takes a bit of effort, but first time, but then you get used to it and it goes automatic. So that's nutrition, that's exercise, and that's pretty much how you maintain a good physical health. For mental health, go talk to a psychologist. I'm not a psychologist, but it usually helps with mental health, doing exercise. I'm so hungry right now. Oh my god. Ooh, suddenly I'm very hungry. Fuck. I don't think I can keep thinking. So, advices. Well, take it slow. Take it slow. You don't have to do a super intense exercise the first day. You can do one little one. You keep increasing slowly but surely. That's the thing. Don't do it alone. If you can do it with friends, it's easier. If not, well, I'm sorry for you. Find friends, I guess. You can find friends at the gym, at the calisthenics park. Like, just approach one of these guys training and start talking. They are humans. Usually, everyone is very nice. Usually, 99.9% of the time. Yep. Do it alone. Well, if you want to do it alone, go alone. If you want to do it with friends, that motivates you. Do it with friends. Try not to depend on people. Try to be independent. But if you want to share your happiness, your health with people, go for it. What else? It's hard. Do it slowly. If someone is trying to rush you, it's probably trying to scam you. You can cheat sometimes. You don't have to follow the rules all the time. Maybe if you have been training consistently for 3 weeks, maybe the next half a week you can just chill and do whatever the hell you want, eat whatever the hell you want. I mean, don't eat fucking 5 burgers for half a week, 5 burgers a day. But you can allow yourself to be more flexible. Like, oh shit, it's not like it's gonna happen tomorrow. If you don't train tomorrow, the body is gonna be like, oh, you didn't use the muscle yesterday. I'm gonna destroy your muscle. No, it's very progressive. Okay, it's progressive. Our biology is progressive, unless you're weird and you have some medical condition. But our biology is progressive. It doesn't happen in one day. Okay, it takes months. It takes months. I think if usually maintaining the muscle it takes less effort than constructing it. Let's say that for getting these biceps, I have to lift 20 kilograms. To maintain it, some studies say that you only need 1/9 of it. So if I do strength with, wow, that's very much. That's like with almost 3 kilograms, I could maintain the muscle. I don't exactly remember, but the principle is that it takes less effort to maintain it than to create it. And also you have muscle memory. If you lose your muscle and you try to build it again, it will build faster because your body just remembers because of biological reasons. If you're interested about this, go to the YouTube channels, talk to ChatGPT, think for yourself. Don't believe anything the channel says. Don't believe anything that ChatGPT says, and all this stuff. What was I saying? Oh yeah, advices. And with this, I finish. I'm so hungry. Tonight is Halloween. I don't have any plan. I'm just gonna meet some friends and maybe go to the beach, probably. I'll bring a speaker. Let's see. Let's see what happens. Yeah, I'm a bit in a rush right now. It's like 8 p.m. maybe. Yeah, it's actually 8:17. No, 7:57. Yes, 7:57. Okay, oh, I'm so hungry. I'm so hungry. Something is better than nothing. Don't think short or middle term, think long term. This is a habit. The benefits come from habit. And as I've said, these are general principles. Okay, you have to try to follow them as best as possible based on your life, on your job, on your work, on what you like most, on what you don't like at most. You know, what exercise do you like better? Is there a sport you want to do? A sport? Go do a sport. That's also exercise. You want to play football, play tennis, whatever. Just move your ass first, you know, and then you follow the principles, which are these, and then you try to improve your health in the direction you want to improve it. Want to be more flexible? Want to be more strong? Want to be more resistant? Want to be more athletic? Whatever. Want to be better basketball player? Want to be better golf player or whatever. Just that's why goal planning, right? That's why there's a part of goal planning in nutrition and exercise. Yeah, I think that's all the things I have here. Yeah. That's everything. That's everything. Of course, don't try to make it perfect the first week. It's very difficult to get it right the first week. But don't worry. Just do it. Just do something. And then in the next week, you do something, yeah, and a bit more. And then the next week after that, you do something, a bit more, and a bit more. That's how you improve in life in general. I've said everything. Nutrition and exercise. This is the class. You have further resources like the YouTubers I told you. You can go to read science papers. You can talk to AIs about it. I said ChatGPT, but you can use any AI. Just think. Don't believe everything is said to you. Try it on your own, but don't try it very hard. Don't get injured. All the advices. I'm gonna leave you. Boom. I'm hungry. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah. Prototype class number, what is this number? 7? Finished. Ciao, ciao. It's Halloween today, so I scared you.